Hey guys, it's Maddie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the viral book First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I first heard of this book from Sarah Corley here on YouTube. She raved about this book and I've seen a lot of other people talk about it as well, and it is very highly rated on Goodreads. I think it's like a 4.13 right now. Anyways, let's get right into what this book is about. This book is narrated by our main character, Evie Porter, and she is a con artist, thief, scammer. She has a multitude of different skills, and she is employed by this mysterious figure named Mr. Smith. He runs this big scam operation and has a whole bunch of people working for him, but we never know who he is. He uses like this voice distorter and they very rarely contact each other, and it's in very bizarre ways that they do communicate, like most often through this mailbox. There'll be like a handwritten note left there, or they'll go through this other guy named George or Matt. And each time Evie is given a new mark, like person that she's targeting, this Mr. Smith creates a new background for her, a new character, a new name, and like they go to great lengths to curate this new person by posting on like the internet different pictures and planting stories and historical moments to fit this new persona that she's taking on. And each scam has a different motive, so quite often there would be like this client that will contact Mr. Smith who needs some sort of thing looked after, and then Mr. Smith will employ Evie to go and do that. So whether that's obtaining like criminal information, incriminating information, or one time she had to like steal a painting, the things that she's trying to obtain differ from each case quite severely. Her latest target is this charming Southern man named Ryan, who has some sketchy and questionable business ventures. Evie isn't quite sure what Mr. Smith wants her to get from Ryan. She like needs to get some like financial records, some financial information, just some details surrounding his different businesses. But the stakes are very high because the last case that she tried to follow through, like shit hit the fan, something really bad happened. We're not sure what, but we just know like there's a lot of pressure on Evie to fulfill her obligations. And Evie Porter is actually her new name. That is not her like original real name. It's her new alias that she has taken on. So when she's living in this small town with Ryan, this woman shows up, and this woman has the same name as Evie's real name and like the same background information. So this really throws Evie off and really shakes her up. And Evie understands that there is a bigger game being played by Mr. Smith and that things might not quite be as they seem. So we flip back and forth between a few different timelines to fully understand what Evie is capable of and how she got to the point that she's at now. The power dynamic is always switching in this book, so you never know who you can really trust. Who's the good person, who's the bad person. Like, you're questioning everyone. I give it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It was so quick and a really fast read just because I always wanted to know more, like things always left on cliffhangers, and it was just very intriguing. I was very intrigued and very interested to see what happens because the stakes did feel pretty high in this book. I really fell in love with Evie and Ryan and how like well they worked together, and it was just interesting because you knew Evie was just playing a part in Ryan's life and that it wasn't truly her in the relationship with Ryan. It was this Evie character that was made up, and she was just fulfilling her obligations to Mr. Smith. But that it's not as clean cut as that because Evie's still a person, so her personal emotions get wrapped up in it too. So I was just rooting for them the whole time. Where it does lose a few marks for me is that sometimes things were just brushed off and the secrets were really secretive and you didn't see through a lot of like the background information. It was just labeled as like classified details. So not everything was flushed out, and I feel like if I had a little bit more understanding of Mr. Smith's motives and why he was the way he was, it would lead for a more like well-rounded story in my opinion. But for the most part, at the end, the book did a very good job of explaining a lot of the loose ends and filling in some gaps that were left earlier and trying to kind of wrap everything up and tie it all nicely. There were major plot twists in this that I was not expecting. Like I had no expectations going into this book, and I think that's one of the best ways to go about it, because everything that happened took me by surprise and I was shocked, and it was a really enjoyable read. And everything that I've told you is figured out within like the first 50 pages, if not less. There is so much more to this book than I could possibly explain in this little short video, but I don't want to give too much of it away because I think that's what makes the read so much more enjoyable and high stakes. You're just intrigued to see what happens. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I highly recommend you read First Lie Wins. This was a little bit different for me. I haven't read a thriller in quite a while, but I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!